Hello to my lovely subscribers. So, I have had the Chabaud Maison de Parfum Late Collection samples for a really long time. I have actually had them for almost a year because I asked my sister for this little set of samples for Christmas last year, Christmas 2022. And I sniffed them when I was still at my mum and dad's house, and I was so heartily unimpressed with them. I didn't want to talk about them at that point. And also because I've got enough experience wearing perfumes now to know that sometimes you need to kind of spray, let the air in, and then let them macerate, let them kind of develop, let them strengthen up a little bit. So these have been packed away in a dark box for almost a year, and I've just pulled them out to try them again. My opinion on these hasn't really changed. They haven't got much stronger, really. They haven't changed very much at all. They are still, to me, underwhelming, incredibly light, and very chemically. So now a bottle of one of these will cost you about £100. And my personal opinion, being that I am a bargain hunter, is that you can get things for way cheaper that are so much better than these perfumes. Now, again, obviously, my nose is my nose, my skin is my skin. So there will be people who love these, who think they smell fantastic. I'm pretty sure there's aroma chemicals in here that I do not enjoy, because some of these are definitely veering into the chemically swimming pool, kind of an antiseptic smell that I get with things like acro perfumes, for instance, seem to have that in. A lot of modern perfumes do. The Narciso Rodriguez musks, for instance, they smell like a swimming pool on me and to me. My husband thinks they smell like TCP. I feel the same about these Lait perfumes. But I really wanted to try them at the time because I do like a milky perfume. So we've got Lait de Vanille, we've got Lait Concentre, Lait de Chocolat, and Lait de Biscuit. So these are vanilla milk, vanilla, concentrate, vanilla chocolate, and vanilla biscuit. So what am I talking about? So we've got vanilla milk, we've got milk concentrate, we've got milk chocolate, and milk biscuit, right? Let's start with Lait de Vanille. So I'm going to go through and tell you what I think about these, and then I'm going to talk to you about some stuff that I think is much better value for money. Now, in here, it says a vanilla sugar crystals reminiscent of the warmth of vanilla. There's not really much more information here. This perfume, Lait de Vanille, is a very simple, sweet, vanilla essence-y kind of smell. Slightly milky, and like it says, sugar crystals. And it doesn't smell like brown sugar, it smells like white sugar. This is the one that has like an really antiseptic smell in it to me, which I do get quite often with like a vanilla essence-y kind of smell. And as in like the vanilla essence you literally get in the cupboard of your, of your kitchen when you're making cakes. I am here to tell you that this smells so much like H&M Vanilla that it's like crazy. It's like absolutely crazy. So I literally just gave that one away because it does have that antiseptic vanilla smell to me. But what I said about that one is it smells like a classic vanilla essence and white sugar. Like, that's just what that smells like, and that is exactly what this smells like. It's not particularly creamy, it's not particularly milky, it's just a vanilla and sugar kind of smell, ever so slightly milky. Honestly, this smells so much like the H&M one. Now, the H&M one, I would happily wear that if it didn't smell, if I didn't, because the kind of general scent bubble around me when I was trying that one out is kind of pretty. And then as soon as I get close to wherever I've sprayed it, it fully smells like antiseptic, so I couldn't wear it. This is exactly the same. So in a way, this is one of the better ones from this collection, in that I do think it's quite nice apart from that antiseptic smell. And I know not everyone's going to get that. But for £100, when you can spend £4.99 on a 20ml bottle of the H&M vanilla perfume, and it smells almost identical to this. No, I mean, that's just, nah, you're all right. It doesn't smell special, this one, is what I would say. So, no to that one. Now, Lait Concentre. Okay, this one says the sweet milk and caramel shards of sugar candy. There you go. So, it smells like butter. So I've got this on the back. In the middle of this somewhere, I do get something slightly flowery, but it doesn't last. That's not a smell that lasts, really. I get milk, sugar, and a caramel that's intensely buttery. So if you like a buttery kind of scent, then you might really like this. I don't really like a buttery scent too much. It's okay, but I don't love it. This is another one. It's very light. It doesn't last long, but it's like literal butter. So it's like a freshly made butter caramel that you'd put on something. So it's just not for me. But again, so what I'll say, I actually have bottles here. So there are two things that you might quite like if you like Lait Concentre and you don't want to spend £100. So first up, we have Milk Cake. This is by Malizia, and it's Malizia Bonbons. And this actually, to be honest, this one, if you like any of these perfumes, you might quite like this. This one is literally vanilla and milk and a slightly cakey scent. It's slightly perfumey, this one, for a little while, but the dry down is incredibly similar to, I think Lait Biscuit actually might be the one closest to this. Even though this one doesn't smell biscuity, it smells vanilla-y, it smells sugary, it's a bit milky. And this one is very, very cheap. So definitely worth looking for that if you've been looking at these. Now, Sticky Toffee Pudding, it's not particularly milky, but it's got like a caramelly, buttery smell to it, which I think is quite similar to this one. So I'm just going to sniff this. Yeah. This one's actually more sugary. This one is more sugary, but it's definitely got that kind of, I mean, it says it on the tin, right? Sticky Toffee Pudding. It does have like a buttery, sweet, toffee caramel scent to it. It's not even as buttery as this, despite the fact this is supposed to be like a cake and a sauce that's made of butter. But it might be a really nice thing. If you've been looking at this might be a really good one. So I do recommend both of these. I think they're really good. So, let me just move these over here. So then we've got it's Lait Chocolat. Not Lait de Chocolat. This, I think, is the most perfumey of the bunch. It's because there's jasmine in it. There you go. Jasmine, chocolate, woody notes, cedar, teak wood, vanilla, musk, milk and chocolate. This really does smell like a perfume, this one. So, actually, to be honest, that's for that one. Fuck. So Lait Concentre is an interesting one because of that butteriness. I would suggest as a good alternative something like this. So Sticky Toffee Pudding from Demeter is, I mean, if you can imagine it, it's not even as buttery as this, but it's like a cakey, buttery, very sugary smell with a kind of toffee caramel smell as well. It's not, I mean, I'm from the UK, so sticky toffee pudding is a big deal here, right? But I would say that this is maybe more like a treacle tart. So it's got that kind of, almost like a kind of biscuity base with a really kind of treacly, caramelly, toffee like filling. And I do think, because you can get these bottles even in the UK. If you get this from Fragrance X, it's like 20 quid for this massive bottle, 120 ml. And I'm telling you, these don't last longer than these. These are eau de toilettes, but they are incredibly light and not very long lasting. So that's £100. That's £20 for 20 ml more. And you're going to get the same kind of performance. They don't smell exactly the same, the way that the Vanille one, the way that this one does to the H&M, because I think they almost smell like the same perfume. But this one and this one, I think this just might be like a good option if you're interested in this. So in terms of like a cheaper alternative, I think that one's pretty good. So let's go for Lait de Chocolat. So Lait de Chocolat is, I think, probably the strongest because it is the most perfumey, and you'll see why. So this it says tender notes of jasmine, chocolate, cedar, teak wood, soft vanilla musk, and milk and chocolate. It smells super perfumey to me, this one, and I think the jasmine in the wood is quite strong here. I don't really think this particularly smells like chocolate. Don't think it really smells like milk. I think it smells slightly creamy, and then there's this kind of unusual slight florally vibe, and then a slightly creamy milk. So it's like, it kind of is gourmand, but it's not gourmand the way that these other two are, where they literally smell like food. This one is much more perfumey, and I think a good thing to go for here would be, if you can get hold of it, it's actually slightly more gourmand, to be honest, is Bonbons from Malizia, and this is called Milk Cake. So this is it's supposed to be for children, this one. It is a eau de toilette, same as this. They probably are about the same strength, about the same lasting power. This one has notes of milk, vanilla, and chocolate cake. So it also, to me, I think, midway through, has a slightly floral smell. This one is slightly perfumey, but the dry down, similar to this, in fact more so than this, is just like a sort of creamy, milky smell. And I mean, you can get, in the UK, you probably need to get these, if you can't get them from makeup.uk, because this is an Italian brand, you probably could get this from eBay. I think I got some of I might have got this one actually from eBay, because they were sold out on makeup.co.uk. I think it was like £8 or something. So this is a 50 ml, again, £100, £8. You know, I mean, yeah, I think you'd get a very similar experience. You'd really like it. They're not identical at all, but I think if you're looking for, I mean, this one is not really very chocolatey either, and I will give you another alternative if you actually want to smell like chocolate. I'll have that at the end, but I think this is equally as chocolatey as this, because I don't think this is very chocolatey at all. So that's my feelings about Lait de Chocolat. Lait et Chocolat, I should say. Milk and chocolate. So last but not least, Lait Biscuit. This is my favourite, definitely, from this collection, which is weird because I thought this would be the one I really didn't like. The reason being that I really don't like biscuity scents. If it really smells like a biscuit, it makes me feel a bit queasy and I don't like it. So it is very strange that this is my favourite. I think this one smells less biscuity than some of the other ones that smell way more biscuity. So it's very strange. It says reminiscent of childhood, sweetness. Does it even have any notes on this? It doesn't even include notes. So what I've written here, milk and sugar, no biscuit. It smells like vanilla pods, no lasting power. You have to spray loads and loads of this to get any kind of biscuit smell. So I think maybe, if you can imagine, maybe it just smells less cookie-ish and more... I think they get these little kind of sugar biscuits that are very, very crumbly and very sugary. So maybe it's more like that, like, I wish I could remember what they were called. My mum used to make them. Or almost like more like a brandy snap or something like that, where it doesn't have a particularly biscuity scent, but you'd still call it a biscuit. It is pretty though. And when I first sprayed this one, I think it smells like Bailey's, you know, the drink. It has like an alcohol smell in here. And I don't think just because it's like got an alcohol-y, because it's eau de toilette and it's very light, so I think there's a lot of alcohol in these, but it smells deliberate. So what really reminds me of this one is Demeter White Russian. So White Russian, they do actually have one that's called Irish Cream, which is supposed to smell like Bailey's. But I think White Russian just smells like Bailey's. This is supposed to be milk, coffee, and vodka. But it smells like Bailey's. So it smells like a sweet, creamy whiskey liqueur. But the deep dry, that's what it smells like. And that is exactly what this, I think, smells like when you first spray it. It just smells like Bailey's to me. This one smells very similar. And then again, it dries down into just being like a creamy skin scent, which is what this smells like. Just a very sugary, sweet, slightly milky skin scent. That's exactly what this smells like. And when I say creamy, please understand, I do understand that these are milk and not cream. They're supposed to be lighter, not too thick. But this one, I think, is an excellent alternative. And again, £100, £20. Like, that's just going to be the difference there. And again, they last as long as each other. They're about as strong. Yeah. I do think that would be a really good alternative. So, jump cut. I would say if you are actually looking for creamy and milky and maybe chocolatey, then firstly, the fresh cream range from Philosophy is great. Now, I happen to have, because I really fell in love with this, which I got for really cheap in the UK. You can still get this. You can get it like this whole 480ml body spritz of fresh cream for about £15-20. I fell in love with this. It is it does kind of smell like cooked cream a little bit, but it's a bit lighter and more watery than actual cream. It doesn't smell as thick to me as actual cream. I don't want to put anyone off, but there is a slight breast milk smell going on here. So I've just got to be honest. I think that it has, if anyone knows what breast milk is like, it is incredibly creamy, but it's very, very sugary compared to cow's milk. And this is a very sugary, vanillic, creamy scent. Now, because I fell in love with this, I wanted to test out and get the actual perfume. It's a very different colour, as you can see. So the Fresh Cream perfume, I got this one. If you're in the UK, I got this from Fragrance X, and it was about £40. I think these are about £60 full price from Philosophy, but you can't get those in the UK. But if you like this kind of thing, this I think you might really enjoy. So if you've been interested in anything that's milky, creamy, these are very sugary, and they are, this one in particular, again, even though it's a body spritz and it doesn't last very long, it's not particularly that different from what I can tell from testing out these eau de toilettes. So this I think is great. This one, I'm not entirely sure it's worth the money at the moment, because I think it's I don't think it's a huge amount stronger than the body spritz, and I don't think it lasts a huge amount longer either. So I think it might be a bit of an either or as to what you can get, but I do really love Fresh Cream. I also have, and it's worth looking out for if you're, especially in the UK. I don't know how easy these are to get in other areas of the world, but Fresh Cream and Mint is incredible. Fresh Cream and Honey is really nice too. They have also one called Marzipan Dreams, and that one's quite nice, although it's less gourmand than these. So this and Fresh Cream and Mint are my absolute favourites. I absolutely love those. Fresh Cream and Honey is the lightest of the lot, but it's like a lighter version of this, but then with just that hint of honey. So I think they're really good. Now, if what you want is like a kind of milky, toffee, chocolatey kind of scent, then you cannot go wrong, in my humble opinion, with Al Nuaim Chocolate Musk.